Yes, everyone, I'm Delu and I'm back with another video. You know what it is, EA Sports FC needs. These are things just coming with 5 things EA Sports FC needs. And just by the way, just to let you know, I am active on Twitch, so feel free to act there. The link will be in the description. So thank you. And of course, if you enjoy the video, please do like, subscribe, comment, share, etc. Thank you. Now, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the PlayStation, whatever you want to call it. It has been here since FIFA 12. Changed a tiny bit from FIFA 12 to 13. They just changed the play stats area that before was more to do with morale stuff. Then it became to do with your stats or your potential or when you've been at the club since or just traits essentially. It's rubbish. But what is it? It doesn't really tell you much. And why can you only see one stats, please? So if you're telling me like a guy, one of the best players in the world, he also can't see he doesn't have like another trait like flair trait. And why are not all the traits listed or inferred through these status tags, whatever you want to call them? You can't find them anywhere. They're not on the actual EA. You have to actually either infer it yourself or do deep research. Why? It's just like the freaking traits that you have to do deep research. Player status needs a revamp going to EFC. It needs to change. It needs a big difference. Please let us either have more than one and also just put more, please. Again, our second thing we're going to be talking about, I think it's for you generated player merchants. This one's a big one, and I think we need more random generated player features. You know what I'm saying? Like, so 15, they finally introduced the player face for the player information bio. They introduced the player faces. They didn't correlate, so you'd get, for example, South Asian guy in the player info bio, and in game he's black. He's West Africa Caribbean. What is this? Come on, it took them until FIFA 19 to fix that correlation issue, which was quite frustrating. It was funny, but it was very frustrating and unrealistic. For realistic merchants like myself, it was like, come on. You know, just, obviously you can see the models from 15, 16, the 16 to 18, those ones were just funny. Oh, they were funny, they looked like monsters. Then obviously yearly from 19 to 20 to 21, they change every year. And of course, you know, going from next gen or old gen to current gen, next gen, whatever you want to call it, yeah, there's going to be a small change or should be a dash change or just a change. Yes, I do understand it. And then from 21 to 22, another change to the, you know, I guess more realistic faces. And then from 22 to 23, not much change. So yeah, it's interesting. But I think they should introduce more molds. And I think it's a big ask, but. And I kind of want someone who don't do it, but I think they should do. So you know how back in the day when you were selecting kit, you could randomize a kit. So a bit like long socks, random boots. They should kind of, the in-game CPU engineer or whatever should randomize the features, because not everyone in real life looks uniform. That's what this game needs to understand. Like, we're not all blessed by God to be these handsome or beautiful, whatever you call it, human beings. Some people aren't the best looking, and this comes with random features, you know, big nose, big lips, uneven nose, uneven ears, etc. The game used to think everyone is in sync, everyone is aligned. It doesn't work like that. Now, I do understand this would take extreme coding, which would not be easy. I do understand how that would be difficult to get, and it's not high on the priority, but it would be nice. Either introduce loads more molds of these generated players or randomize the features. If they randomize the features, they wouldn't even need this, but I don't understand because, you know, linking it to the player info bio face would be long if you're randomizing features. So I do understand it'd be a bit extra. So that one, see where we go from there. But it's just, you know, some food for thought. Now, the third one I'm going to be talking about is, this is another one that's, again, it's an interesting one. It's a more we'll see, but it's league, the link to the quality of your league and your potential and your overall rating. Now, in real life, if a guy or if a player, if a player goes and scores 100 goals in the worst league in the world, and a player goes and scores 50 goals in the Premier League, who's going to go up in their overall more and who's going to go up in their potential more? You know, now let me answer. So, for example, in real life, if a player scores 50 goals in League 2, a young player, his potential is more likely to go up than his overall. Well, they'll both go up, but his potential is more likely to go up significantly than his overall because it's League 2. So the game is to understand this and, you know, make it correlate where your overall isn't going up as much as your potential in comparison to, whereas a Premier League player scores 25 goals, his overall should go up respectively either similar or a bit more, and his potential maybe not as much, because you scoring loads of goals in League 2 shows you have potential to do well in a league like the Premier League, but doesn't mean you're there yet. You know, so that's that potential to take that more into account in their coding. But again, that's a bit more on the extreme side, and I can understand how that could also be difficult to code in. So again, you know me, I'm not on these guys. Youth league. This is bring this in. Fourth kits. I don't care about any of that crap. Fourth kits. Who cares about that nonsense? I keep on seeing his fourth kits. If I see his fourth kits again, I'm good. But okay, let's just veer away from that. You know. Now the fourth thing I'm going to be talking about is The plans, development plans, and positioning, they are overpowered. Whatever you want to say about it, they're overpowered. You're telling me a player can go for at that mid to low 30s, is able to undergo a drastic position change. Like, no, one of the worst ones in this is, for example, a flank change. Like, how is a guy, that's a player with, especially for example, as I said, flank changes, able to go from left back to right back or left wing to right wing, etc., with 1-star weak foot, 2-star weak foot? How is this not taken into account? In real life, a guy is going to struggle majorly, especially if there's no inverted plan, which there are those plans obviously, but like, just for example, full left back to right back, it's two different positions depending on the weak foot, so I need to take things into account, especially for some of the older players, And it gets worse. Weak foot and skill moves. Why are random players, like for example, a guy on, I don't know, deep line playmaker, why is his skill moves able to go up? Why is he able to get to 5-star skill moves from doing deep line playmaker? How does that make sense? In a matter of weeks, in a matter of months. We're telling me in less than a year, he can go up 1 skill move from doing training as a deep line playmaker. It just, no. They need to tame, especially weak foot and skill moves. It needs to be a series of years, essentially. How often does it happen? How often do you guys just CDMs randomly go up in skill moves? No, especially and maybe they stagger it. So if 1-star to 2-star fair, it's fairly quick. 2-star to 3-star. By the time you're going from 3 to 4 and 4 to 5, it should be coming on years, like 18 months, 24 months kind of thing. It should not be. It should either make weak foot and skill as their own separate thing, or make it very much longer. It's, as I said, same with the weak foot. It should, in real life, how often a player's going up from 3 to 5-star weak foot? Come on, and then talk this in the space of a freaking year. Oh my goodness me, but yeah, that player, plans and positioning should definitely be tamed. It's very overpowered at the moment, but yes, and it's been in here for what? Coming on 3. This would be its 3rd year now, because introduced for 2 for 21. So yeah, it should. I'm all for when they introduce a new feature, like for example, dynamic potential, fine tune it. But come on, dynamic potential's been here since FIFA 20 now. It should be getting to the tuning. Let's not even talk about the glitch in early 23, because it was funny, but it was a bit. I didn't mind it as much. It made it a bit more realistic, but there were some aspects where come on, this isn't real. But yeah, and yeah, the 5th thing I'm going to be talking about is just things like, this is again to kind of do status, things like availability, too easy to manage, sharpness, too easy to manage, all these things are too easy to manage. They should be a lot harder to manage. Morale, another one. Why are these things so easy to manage? Like, if you play, just gas and hype your guys up in interviews, bang, their morale's solid. It's not this easy in real life. Players are going to fall out. And this is where player personality kind of ties in. Gas players, one match on the bench, they're going to be like, where's my playtime? Kind of thing. Which, of course, leads to older things such as random player stories and internal memos, but that's for another time. So there are numerous things various things that tie into these, features that, I would hope would come into the game. But yeah, and the main thing from this one is sharpness. You're telling me a guy who's extremely sharp is going to go up 7 overall, so I think that's the max you can go up. Or be boosted by. How? In real life, a guy he could be in the full sharpness of his life. Does not to mean he's going to play 7 better. In my opinion, please tell me if I'm wrong, anyone, but I think it should range between 1 to -1 on your overall. So if you're extremely sharp, it should be, so I think it should be 33% to 0 is a -1, then 34% to 66 is 0, so no impact on your overall, and then 67% to 100% is a +1. If you're extremely sharp, it'll be like a plus and little boost, but it's not going to be 5, 6, 7 plus. That doesn't make sense. And then if you're extremely not sharp, not sharp, you know what I mean, blunt, you want to call it, it shouldn't be a -6. A 95 rated player, extremely not sharp, he's probably not going to play like an 88. You know what I mean. Or a 60 rated player being extremely sharp, he's not going to play like 67, or it's not as likely. There should be other factors coming into this. So they definitely need to have a look at that. But yeah, those are the main things. So yeah, I do. These are things that I really do hope will come. Maybe not for FC24, but going into feature 4, just EA Sports FC. And that's why I've called it EA Sports FC needs rather than FC24 needs. Especially because it's a late one. I've had these ideas for freaking years. Most of these for like 10 years now, or something like 5. But you know what I mean. Like, it'd just be nice to see these coming into the game soon. And these are the more kind of under the radar, underrated kind of features. Like they're there in the background, but they'd make a big underrated difference, rather than the mains that everyone screams about, freaking sponsors, this and that, reserve youth team, whatever. Cool, they're all nice, but these are small ones, and I haven't really seen these mentioned too much. And I like to go for the ones that aren't mentioned too much. So yeah, that's pretty it. So thank you so much for watching, everyone that's still here. And yes, and of course, as I'm going to say again, I am active on Twitch, so please feel free to tag there, link is in the description. And yeah, if you did like the video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment, etc. And yes, nonetheless, I'm Delu, and thank you for watching.